Now coming to this paired t-test. So paired t-test, as the term or the name suggests, that it will have a paired value. Now, while dealing with the independent sample t-test, independent sample t-test and one-way ANOVA, I told you that there should be independence of observation. But in this case, paired t-test, we don't want independence of observation. Why? Because there is only one group here. There is only one set of study subjects, and we perform the study on that group only. There are no two groups, there are no three groups. So that's why we say that it's a paired value. Paired value means one individual, two value. It may be pre-post, it may be under two intervention, or it may be the difference. That we'll see the various type of study design in which we should apply this paired t-test. So the first, coming to the research question, if I want to know whether there is any change in the score of any paired observation, so the research question could be whether there was a mean difference in dieters' daily calorie consumption before and after a 6-week hypnotherapy program. So you have done a single intervention on single set of individual, and you want to know where you have measured the calorie before intervention and after intervention. And if you want to see whether there is a difference between these two, then we apply this paired t-test. Second question could be, if I wish to test the effect of a Prozac, that is a drug, on well-being of depressed individual using a standardized well-being scale that sums the Likert item to obtain a score that could range from 0 to 5. So here the one variable is the continuous variable, and the independent variable is two different time point. There is a pre-intervention and there is a post-intervention. Similarly, the third type of research question, there is a group of people with a dry skin, and I am testing two things: a medicated lotion on one arm and a non-medicated lotion on the other arm. And after a week, I measure the redness in terms of the maximum diameter on each arm. And I want to know whether the medicated lotion is better or the non-medicated lotion is better. So in these type of research question, in first two research question, what have you seen? There is some intervention and you want to test before intervention and after intervention, two different time points. Whereas in the third one, you will see that it is not the two different time points, but the two intervention. But the two interventions are on the same individual. In this case, you can see right arm and left arm. It is not that there are two groups. You can perform the similar study on the two group of study subjects also. Like one, you can perform like usually we do. There is a control arm and there is an intervention arm. If I am doing a control and intervention arm, then the studies groups are different. The individuals are different. In that case, I will apply independent sample t-test. In this case, since it is a paired value, means we are taking the value of the individual, of the same individual, the two values. So that's why we'll call it as a paired value. And in this case, what will I do? I'll do the paired t-test. So in all these research questions, what have we observed? We have seen that there is a scale variable in each research question, and I want to compare it before and after.
Ma'am, I want to ask one thing over here. In the Likert scale example, we said Likert scale is an ordinal scale.
Yes.
So, like there are some papers which I read, like they use for Likert scale ANOVA or Kruskal-Wallis or Mann-Whitney U test. But
Yes.
how can we use paired t-test?
Yes. So Ashish, if you recall the first, I don't know whether you attended the where we have discussed this concept. If there is a just a sec, let me check. इंटरनेट तो है
आ गया बस
Okay, so can you hear now?
still like there is a like serious like
Okay, I'm waiting. Okay, thank you. So, Ashish, uh, uh, in the first day where we were discussing the variables, the different sort of variables like nominal, ordinal, and interval and ratio, we discussed that ordinal has got this characteristics that if the categories are more than five or more than five, like Likert 5-point Likert scale, 7-point scale, Payne score scale, VS, the score, we can convert that score into a continuous data. Means we can treat that score as a continuous data and we can apply all those tests which we want to perform. So is it clear to you? Since Likert scale, it is 5 or more than 5,
Yes,
you can treat it either as ordinal or you can treat it either as a continuous. Both way it is right. So it will depend on my research question. So that's why if you sum that score up, it will behave like a continuous data. But you cannot do this with the 3-point scale. It should have at least 5 or more than 5 category. Right? Ashish, did you get the answer of your question? Maybe washrooms. So now, Ashish, did you get the answer of your question?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, and is it clear to other participants about this conversion of ordinal scale into a continuous one? Okay. So in all this, what have you observed? That there are there's one variable which is a continuous variable and we are measuring it at 2 point of time and before and after. Similarly, in this case, you can see that the appropriate statistical test would be a paired t-test. And how we do this paired t-test, this is also known as the single sample, it's a single parameter t-test. So now what are the assumptions? So there are few characteristics of this paired t-test. The first one, the first type of study design is the participants are either the same individual tested at 2 different time points, or it's the 2 type of intervention which are tested under 2 different conditions, like we did that medicated versus non-medicated lotion in right arm versus left arm. So the research question is like, if I want to measure the weight of people in a program to quit smoking, for each person, I have the weight at the start and weight at the end of the program. And if I want to know whether the mean weight changes for people or not. The second could be if an instructor gives students an exam and the next day gives students a different exam on the same material, and the instructor wants to know if the 2 exams are equally difficult, then we calculate the difference in exam score for each student. But remember, in this case, we will give the 2 exam pattern to the same set of students. That is difference from the independent sample t-test. The research design could be that you have the two different group of individual and then you test. But here you will see it is the same set of individual or the same students who have been given this exam to perform on the two occasion. That's why I say that independence of observation, which we did for the independent sample t-test and paired this one-way ANOVA, this doesn't exist here. Here it is the same individual, same set of individual. So you have only one study group, and either you are measuring the outcome variable at two different point of time, before and after, or same individual who are under two intervention. Obviously, there will be some time period. Means some if it is a long intervention which takes some time, then there will be, we ask the person to have some washout period and then we give the second intervention. But in this case, since there is no residual effect, like in case of an exam where the effect is very transient, then you can give the second intervention and see the difference in score. So this is the prerequisite of a paired t-test. Now coming to the underlying assumption. If you see the underlying assumption, there is a one scale variable, that is the dependent variable, which is measured on a continuous scale. There is a one independent variable that consists of a two categorical group, means it could be a two different point time. It could be a matched pair before and after, and there should not be any significant outlier, and the difference of the score should be normally distributed. This difference of score means that it should be, you can see that we will calculate another variable for this difference of score in the SPSS, because for normality, we test the normality of difference of score with the respect to the mean score. So now what is the null hypothesis in this case? The null hypothesis is the population mean difference of the paired value is equal to 0. And the alternate or research hypothesis is this, that the population mean or difference between the paired value is not equal to 0. Then now the question is, first question is compare the hemoglobin level measured in the gram per deciliter between baseline and the post. So this is the exercise which I have to do. I mean, I have to show you. So there was some intervention. I'll explain the data set to you. This is the data set. Coming to the variable view. If you see the variable view, it is the ID, age, gender, race, socioeconomic status, and anemia. So you can see here that there is a value of hemoglobin pre-intervention and there is a value of hemoglobin post-intervention. And this has been categorized into a categorical variable taking some cutoff, like we did for the systolic blood pressure. So this is the anemia. So this is a categorical variable, this 0 and 1 where anemia is present or absent. Similarly, this is also a categorical variable, post anemia 0, 1 means present or absent. So this is the your overall variable and this is the data. So now I said I have to check for the underlying assumption, and the question which I have to solve, it is the, I have to check whether the intervention, because of some intervention, what is the effect on hemoglobin level. So hemoglobin pre and hemoglobin post. So what I said, so one assumption was that there should be one variable which is a continuous in nature. So hemoglobin is a continuous in nature, and the independent variable in this case is two different time point. So two different time point is pre and post. So what will I do? I'll go to the, I have to create another variable, and that another variable is So now I have to create another variable, and to create another variable, I have got this option of transform. So go to the transform and compute. So I have to take out the difference. I'll write difference HB. So this is another variable which I am creating. So I'll write this pre, this post minus pre. This is the difference, hemoglobin after intervention and hemoglobin before it. And then I press this OK. And then you will see there is an appearance of another variable. So can you see this? There is an appearance of another variable here in the. Can you see this variable? This variable was not there initially, but now this variable is there. Okay, so you can see this. And now we have to test this difference of variable for the normality. So what I'll do, I'll go to this analyze, descriptive, explore. In the dependent, I'll shift this. I'll go to the plots. Then I'll click this plot, uncheck this, check this, continue. Okay. So here you will see that there is an output, and you can see, so since the data, the sample size is more than 50. So although this Shapiro-Wilk value also shows that the data is not normal, that the data is normally distributed, but since the sample size is large, we will see that the visual inspection of QQ plot, it shows that the difference of this hemoglobin level is normally distributed because it is across the diagonal line. And if you see the outlier, so if you see the outlier, so can you comment on the outlier? How many outliers are there in this case? Please type in the chat box.
No. This activity is done.
So you can see that there are 5 outliers, serial number 136, 169, 141, 74, and 114. So you have to report. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot to unmute myself. So that's why I'm repeating everything. So that there are 5 outliers in this case. So the important will be to report these outliers. And then you can keep these outliers because this paired sample t-test is also a robust test and the sample size is large, but important is to report. But if you wish to remove, you may also remove all these 5 values and then carry out the analysis. Whatever is you choose to decide, you should report in your data analysis when you write your statistical analysis. Now coming to the this you tested for outlier and normality. Now I'll go to the analyze. This is the paired t-test. So for the paired t-test, what you do, you go to the compare me. So yes, so we are back. So I have to go to the analyze, then compare means. And here you can see the option of paired sample t-test. So if you click this, you can see there are two variables. So there are two pair. So you should move pair 1 here and pair 2 at this place. So you can see once you enter this variable here, then again the second thing opens up. So you can test more than one pair of variable in this case. And then in option, if you go to the option, you don't have to do anything, just press OK. So if you press OK, you will see here that it gives you the overall difference of the mean. So the difference of the mean here is the 0.70 with the standard deviation, the lower and the higher confidence interval, the value of t, degree of freedom, and significance. So this was significant, the change in the hemoglobin. That means the intervention which you have planned that was successful in increasing the hemoglobin of the 193 participants. This 0.720, this is the difference because you can see the mean hemoglobin level here. So if you see, this is the difference of the mean hemoglobin level. Before counseling, hemoglobin was, was 8.5. This was the pre-counseling. And after counseling, the hemoglobin was 9.2. So there was a difference of 0.702 with the lower and the higher confidence interval. And you can see the confidence interval with the same sign. That means the confidence, this p-value is significant. This is the value of t which you should report with the 192 degree of freedom and significance. Now if you have to report this, if you have to interpret this, how will you do? So let's open the result section. Interpretation. So here is the table of interpretation. This is the question. I'll hide this, increase this. And then you see that this is the table. So I have written the title. It starts with the title of the table, comparison of pre and post intervention and mean hemoglobin level. This is the pre-intervention. This is 8.5. I have taken this value from here. This is the post-intervention. I have taken this value from this 9.2. This is the standard deviation 1.4 and 1.5. This is the statistical t-value, that is a 5.57, which I have taken from this value, the degree of freedom -192, and significance, that is the 0.005. Now I have to, if you have to read it, one of you can read this for me. Yes, so who, please, any volunteer to read the result?
The difference in mean hemoglobin level was normally distributed as found by visual inspection of the QQ plot. There were 5 outliers which were kept in the analysis. In our study, that there is significant increment in the mean hemoglobin level after intervention.
Yes, you can write again the same thing in the bracket here also, that it was significant. So this is a, this is a small thing. Results are also, since we are only doing on a single set of data, I mean the variable. If there are many, then you can have that in the same table depending on your, if you can club those nature of variable together or not. So this is the paired t-test. So just to summarize once again, the paired t-test, if you see, it can be done, the paired t-test can be done on the same set of individual. The most important thing which should be kept in mind, that there is only single set of study subjects. You don't have different groups. No grouping in this paired t-test. So same individual either tested twice at 2 different time point or tested for 2 different conditions. Both these will produce the same 2 values. That will be the paired value, right arm, left arm. Like you see, you have seen in the medicated lotion example. So there also you will perform a paired t-test. Underlying assumptions are same. The only difference here is that you calculate a new variable. New variable is the difference of the two pre and post value, and you test the normality of that difference, and then you go. If I show you the commands once again, then you go to this. You come to this transform, compute. Here you type the name of the variable. I have typed it like the difference in hemoglobin. Here I have written hemoglobin post minus hemoglobin pre, and then press OK. We have used this compute variable for calculation of mean SBP also in your exercise, and I have shown it with the BMI. Remember, can you recall the day 1 session where we have used this transform compute option? Then if you press OK, then there is an appearance of a new variable which you can see here. This one, difference in hemoglobin. Then you have to test this difference for the normality. So you go to the explore, click this plot, uncheck this stem and leaf, check this normality with plot, continue, press OK, then you will have that output. And then again, after analyzing that, you go to the analyze, compare means, there will be paired sample t-test. Here there will be variable 1 and variable 2. You can do whatever way you want. It will take just the 1 minus 2. So by seeing the sign of the difference, you can see that whether it was an increase or decrease, and then press OK. And then you will be presented with this table where you can see that you will have a descriptive mean SD of the pre and post. You will have a paired sample t-test, the value of t-test, its degree of freedom, and significance level. So I think, is it clear to everyone or any ambiguity? Then we may take the questions, 1 or 2 questions.
Ma'am, when we were entering in SPSS for the pair data, like variable 1, variable 2. So in variable 1, we mentioned post intervention, yes, post hemoglobin, and variable 2 pre hemoglobin. If we do vice versa, I don't think it would be a problem, right, ma'am?
See, I'll do it for you. I've reset this. Now I'll do this pre first and then post. Right, this you are saying.
It's
na?
like up to the researcher, ma'am, right, ma'am? Like to keep what to keep in variable 1.
You can change this also. Na? If by this you can change this. So you can change this post and pre. Again, you can change this pre and post, right? So if you do this, only the sign will change. Like I'll perform this once again for you. So if you see this, it is minus 7.02. So sign is minus. This is again the same concept which you did in ANOVA. Remember, you
Yes,
did
ma'am.
I minus J or J
Yes,
minus.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That sign tells you, it is just to show you that whether the intervention like CRP, ferritin, if you are doing some intervention, you will expect that value to go down. In that case, the 1 minus 2 will be positive. But if like a case of hemoglobin, when you expect the outcome variable to increase after your intervention, then definitely your 1 minus 2 will be negative. Did you get that?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear to all other people?
Yes, ma'am.
All other
So, ma'am, we can say that it's up to us that whether what we want to keep
Yes,
in variable 1 and variable 2.
Yes,
It's our choice.
entirely. Bilkul. It's your choice, depending on your outcome, whether you expect it to decrease or increase.
Okay,
or
ma'am.
even if whatever you do, you can just change the sign here, like we did for the ANOVA.
Yes, ma'am.
Like T here, you can see it is in negative. So you will just reverse the sign. It will be positive. So if it is clear to everyone, then we'll go to the breakout room